Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Going the Distance. This is episode 8. I can't believe it's been 8 episodes, but I want to thank everybody who's tuning in today. I want to thank the viewers that have been watching from the beginning, and I want to welcome the new viewers. So let's jump right into it. We got some sports news, some entertainment news, some music news, and I have another correction this week to make. So let's jump into it. So first off, I want to start with my correction. So last week I talked about Nickelback's documentary, and I said they had 9 albums. They actually have 10. Get Rollin' is actually their 10th album. So the documentary chronicles all their whole career, and I guess it spans all 10 albums. So I want to apologize for that mishap, and let's jump into it. So first off, we're going to start with a story from late last week with Richard Sherman getting arrested with a DUI. I think it was last weekend. Well, he spent the weekend in jail. I believe he got arrested on Thursday night or Friday night, and then he went to jail, and he posted bond on Monday on a $5,000 bond. So he's out. He had a court hearing. I hadn't heard anything else about it, but I just wanted to let you guys know that he was arrested. He was out. Once I get more information, I'll let you guys know. So now we're going to move on to another story from the Cincinnati Bengals and their star wide receiver T. Higgins, who they're expecting to franchise tag. Now, T. Higgins is a great player. He's one of Joe Burrow's go-tos. It's Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I would even put Tyler Boyd in that scenario, and he's got several other weapons. So I'm glad to see T. Higgins back with the Bengals for at least another year. So now we're going to move on to some releases. So as everybody knows, Tampa Bay was, the team for seasons. Tom Brady was there. They were the team. So one of the players named Shaquille Barrett was released by the Bucks. Now he's been with the Bucks for a number of years. In fact, if I remember right, the Bucks are the only team Shaquille Barrett's been to. If I'm wrong, somebody comment. Let me know what other team it was, but I'm pretty sure he's been with the Bucks his whole career. And now he's looking for another team because the Bucks released him. Now, is this a smart move? Is it not? I don't know. Because I remember Shaquille Barrett being pretty good in with Tampa Bay. So now we're good. So now, what happens? Where does he go? What are y'all's thoughts on where he goes? Would love to know. Let me know. So on Friday, I looked at my apps and I started to see that, several weeks ago, I read that Andy Reid was going to retire after the season, is what I thought. I thought, yeah, Kansas City's going to win. He's going to go out on top, which is what everybody wants to do. Every coach, every quarterback, just every player wants to do. Well, now, on Friday, I was thinking, oh, hey, this is Andy Reid's retirement, whatever. I saw something about Andy Reid. Never really been a big fan of Andy, but, I know people that are. Now I'm seeing where the Kansas City Chiefs are going to want to extend Andy Reid and make him the highest paid coach. I don't really know who the highest paid coach is. I need to do some research on that. If you guys know, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Let me know. And how many years do you think Andy gets? Does he get 2 years? Does he get 5 years? Does he go until, Mahomes retires? What happens? So now we're going to move on to a story that, kind of shocked me, actually. I mean, shocking that we won't see this guy or hear the commentary from this guy anymore, but he's been doing this for a number of years, so it's time for this to happen. So Peter King, who is a football analyst, I believe he's on Football Night in America, and he does stuff with NBC during the week, Football Mornings in America, I believe. He announced his retirement on Monday after 44 years of covering football. 44 years. I mean, you've been through the Tom Brady years, you've been through the Peyton Manning years, you've been through the Drew Brees years, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, covered it all. He's gone back as far as Troy Aikman. So, Peter King, I wish you the best of luck in retirement, and I hope to hear from you from time to time. If you have anything going on, like YouTube-wise, I'll follow it, listen to it. But happy retirement, buddy. So now we're going to move on to a story that I should have covered last week. And this has to do with the UFC. Now, since I've started this series, I've always said, if you have a story you'd like me to cover, let me know. Message me, text me, whatever. Just let me know what the story is. So I had a friend of mine message me last week, actually, and I didn't see it until after I filmed the show last week. But UFC 298 happened, and it was between Alex Vonlowski, I know I'm going to butcher these last names, and Iluna Tampikia, I think is how you pronounce it. Well, I'm just going to call them by their first names. So Alex is 26-3, 26 wins, 3 losses, and Iluna is 14-0. So they fought each other at UFC 298 last Saturday. Saturday before last, my bad. And Tolukia defeated Velasquez by KO to become the new featherweight champion. So that means Tolukia is 15-0. This is something. I mean, I can think of a boxer, Floyd Mayweather, who I believe is 59-0, undefeated, 59 fights, no losses. That's amazing. This guy's 15-0 and the new featherweight champion. So congratulations to you, Alec. Congratulations to you, Iluna. And I'll continue to follow this and see how long you keep the title, see who you fight next, see who the next title defense is against. Congratulations. So now we're going to move on to some NBA news. So it came out the other day. Now everybody's doing extensions. They can do them throughout the season. They can do them in the off season. They can just do them whenever. So I found out earlier in the week, either late last week, early this week, that the Warriors have signed head coach Steve Kerr to another 2-year deal worth $35 million. Makes him the highest paid coach in the NBA. Now, I can kind of see this because the Warriors have had really good success under him in his tenure. They were back and forth with LeBron and the Cavaliers. They've kind of fallen off a little bit in last year and this year, but they're coming back. They've had some issues, but now they're starting to come back. So congratulations, Steve. Can't wait to see what you have in store for the Warriors in the next 2 years. And if that's the case, then you get another extension, because I see many more years ahead for you, Steph, and the Warriors to be champions. I see more championships for you guys. Okay, so now we're going to move on to some NASCAR news. NASCAR raced in Atlanta this week, and I saw bits and pieces of it, but the ending is what really caught everybody's attention, because Daniel Suarez won the race for his second win of his career. Congratulations, Daniel, on your second win. And the way you did it this week was good. You went 3 wide with Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney, and it was by nose. These are the kind of finishes people look for when they talk about NASCAR. This is what y'all want to see. This is what people want to see. And the wrecks. And there was a wreck on lap 2. Somebody spun out. I can't remember who it was, but somebody spun. And in the end, it's you, Daniel. So congratulations, man. And I can't wait to see how your season ends. I believe Chase finished in 15th. And I really want to see Chase win that championship this year. He had a rough year last year, but I'm ready for him to get back to that championship win this year. So continuing with some NASCAR news, I believe it broke today. Now, I've seen competing stories with this, so I don't know who to believe, so I'm going to just say both of them. So I did read where Dale Jr., who has been an analyst and a commentator for NASCAR on NBC in the booth for the past 5-6 years, however long it's been since he retired. I can't really remember. But he will not be in the booth this year with NBC. Now, I've seen stories where he's moving to Amazon Prime. Now, I had no idea Amazon Prime was looking to do NASCAR. They're doing football, they do soccer, they do, all these other sports, but I've never seen them do NASCAR. So is Amazon Prime going into NASCAR now? Don't know. But then I read where Dale Jr.'s looking at a new contract with NBC, and that's why he's not doing it, because he's in contract negotiations. Now, this is a little weird for me, because if you're in a contract year, you want to move into you want to be in the booth, and you want to be out on the field, and you want to be on the racetrack, and you want to be on the court to prove yourself, I would think. Why he's not going to be in the booth, I need to do some more research on. So I'm going to keep tabs on this story. I'm going to let you guys know how that goes. As everybody knows, baseball's starting up. I don't know when opening day is, but I'm getting ready for that. The NFL Combine is going on. I'm keeping tabs with that. And, let's just see how it goes with these. As baseball news comes available, I'll let you guys know. And I'll let you guys know anything from the Combine that I get. Speaking of the Combine, I saw this story today, and it just absolutely made me shake my head, because I don't understand how you do this. So I read today where Patrick Mahomes is begging the NFL to stop showing his video of the Combine after all these years. Why are you going to stop? Yeah, he said it was an embarrassing video of the Combine, but you need to show the video because it's part of the Combine. He's a professional player. What gives him the right to say what the NFL can and can't show? If the NFL wants to show the video of the Combine, whether it's embarrassing or not. And what was so embarrassing about it? I don't know. Was he too slow? Did he not do something right? Or, what's going on? We need to look at the video. On another note, I need to bring this up. So Cam Newton has been out of the league for a while, for years. I think the last time he played was in 2020, maybe 2021, and that was with the Patriots. Well, then Mac Jones came on the scene, and Cam was released, and that was a big fiasco. Earlier in the week, I believe it was on Sunday, there was a report that Cam Newton got jumped and got into a fight with 4 or 5 guys. Cam hold his own. I haven't seen the video. I need to watch the video and see. but I heard Cam held his own. And I just want to get y'all's thoughts on it. I want to get why he was in a fight, what caused the fight, what happened. I want to know. But I wanted to let you guys know that Cam was in an altercation earlier in the week, and let's just see what happens with that. So, for now, that's all for sports news. So let's move on to some entertainment news. So, as everybody knows, there were some, and one of these stories was requested by a friend of mine. So, Deal or No Deal Island premiered this week. Deal or No Deal Island. This is interesting to me because, to me, it's two reality shows in one. It's Deal or No Deal plus Survivor. Because I haven't watched the first episode yet. I need to do that. But from what I could see from the preview, they did a little mini preview about a month and a half ago, and I watched that. And this was interesting because it was Survivor meets Deal or No Deal, where you go and you do these competitions like Survivor. And then at the end, you're broken up into tribes or teams. You do the competition, and then at the end, you go into tribal council. But this is where the Deal or No Deal thing comes in. Because then you deal with the banker, and then I guess you get eliminated from that. Like I said, I haven't watched it. Don't really know. From what I could see from the preview, that's what it looked like. Joe Manganiello is the host of the show, and I believe I saw Boston Rob from Survivor. So here we go. Survivor meets Deal or No Deal. So if you guys have seen Deal or No Deal Island, drop it in the comments. Let me know what you think. I'm going to take a look at it. I'll let you know what I think after a couple episodes. Right now, I think it's going to be an interesting watch. For you Survivor fans, you Deal or No Deal fans, you come together. There it is. Speaking of Survivor premiered this week. And this is season 46 of Survivor. Now, I've been watching Survivor for a number of years. I can say that I haven't really watched a full season in a while. I watched the premiere and then things happen and I kind of fall off of watching it. But this year I'm going to try to watch the full season and let you guys know. This was a 2-hour episode this week, and I haven't finished watching it. But from what I can see, it's 3 teams, and I can see somebody's already found an immunity idol. They've gone on and done this thing where it's been 3 contestants, and they draw a card, and it was a skull, a torch, and a vote card. So they said whoever had the torch card got to ask questions to see who had the skull and the vote and the vote card. Yeah. So I saw this and it just made me shake my head because they say outwit, outplay, outlast. Sorry, got a little tongue tied there. So dude gets the skull card and immediately says, when the person that had the torch card said, "All right, so which one of y'all has the vote card?" The guy goes, "I'm not even gonna lie, I've got the vote card." Well, the guy who originally had the vote card was looking like, "What?" So then it made the guy with the skull card say, "Yeah, I really don't have the vote card. I've got the skull card." So it outwit, outplay, outlast, but you don't deceive the person to see, even though there are a lot of deceivers on there. So we're going to keep an eye on Survivor. Let me know what you guys think of this first episode so far. Like I said, I haven't finished watching it. I don't know who got voted out, but it was a 2-hour episode, so let me know. I also saw that Amazing Race is coming back on March 13th, and I like Amazing Race because that's a trip around the world, and I can see the sights without traveling or needing my passport, even though one day I would like to travel overseas and go see Scotland, Ireland, places like that. So Let's keep an eye out on Amazing Race. Let's watch Survivor together, and let's see how it goes. So now we're going to talk about The Voice. Now, The Voice, I missed The Voice last season because Blake wasn't on it, and I'm a big Blake Shelton fan. This year, it kind of caught my eye because the judges for this season are Reba, Dan and Shay, Chance the Rapper, and John Legend. So what caught my eye this year was Josh Sanders. He's a Southern boy, and I always pull for the Southern people. And he's from a little small town. He's from a town in North Carolina. And he had Dan and Shay, and he had Reba turn around. Now, Dan and Shay didn't turn around until the very end. They had to talk about it, this, that, and everything else. Reba turned around about halfway through. Dan and Shay talked about it, and they turned around at the very end. In the end, Josh went with Reba. Now, Josh sang Whiskey You Away, or Whiskey on You. I'm sorry, Whiskey on You by Nate Smith. Now, Whiskey on You is a new song, and it's a really good song. If you guys want to look it up, let me know what you guys think. Let me know. I'm going to be pulling for you, Josh. Like I said, I'm into all these. I like all these Southern contestants, like Bryce Leatherwood was from Tennessee, I believe, and he was on Blake's team, and he won. He was actually my favorite from that season, and he won. So, Josh, let's see how far you go, and let's see how you do, buddy. So now we're going to move on to something that really, I knew was in the works, but they've actually released a final date for this. So people know Sum 41 is a punk rock band. The lead singer, Derek, I can't remember his last name, or can't pronounce his last name. I believe it starts with a W. Was married to Avril Lavigne. And that's where I kind of knew what was going on, because at the time growing up, I knew about Avril. I knew about her music. I knew about Sum 41, but I wasn't real familiar with either of their music. And as I got older and got into learning music more, I started listening to their music. And I was a fan, kinda, of Sum 41, but they weren't, a top 10 band. I'd even say not even the top 30, top 20 band for me. They would probably crack the top 30 for me. But they announced last year that they were going to disband, do a farewell tour. Sorry, that's always been a little tongue-tying for me. And see just how, it was going to go out from there. Well, they announced their farewell tour last year, went on tour, and now they've released the finale date of January 30th, 2025. It's going to be the final show. Don't know where yet, but January 30th, 2025 is the final show, and then Sum 41's calling it quits. So, congratulations on a good career, Sum 41, and good luck in the future. So now we're going to move on to something that's kind of near and dear to my heart. And it's one of my favorite bands. In fact, I'm listening to them right now. It's a group called Linkin Park, y'all. As many of you guys know, I followed Linkin Park since the beginning with Hybrid Theory. They have had 7 albums, not including live albums like Reanimation, Recharge, which are just like mini greatest hits albums. Recharge is like a little mini greatest hits, and the live albums like Live in Texas and Road to Revolution. Road to Revolution came after Minutes to Midnight. Live in Texas was actually my very first Linkin Park album that I ever bought. So Live in Texas. Sorry, y'all, I keep getting tongue-tied. Holds a special place in my heart. Came after Hybrid Theory and Medora. Now, this is going to be a little hard for me to talk about because Linkin Park is releasing a greatest hits, 20 songs called Paper Cut. This is the first time anything has come out, greatest hits has come out from them. They've released anniversary sets like 20 years of Hybrid Theory, 20 years of Medora, which are both great. Love them both. This is a greatest hits spanning from the beginning, going from Hybrid Theory all the way to One More Light. I do believe I read, okay, so it's 6 of the 7, I believe. Because if I remember right, they didn't put anything on from the Hunting Party, I believe is what I've read. So this greatest hits is coming out, and they've released an unreleased track from the, I believe it was the Medora. No, it was the One More Light. I'm sorry, it was the One More Light recording, and it was a song called Friendly Fire. Now, as many of you guys know, Chester lost his life back in 2017. And it came to a shock to me. It hit me pretty hard because, like I've said in the past, Linkin Park is one of my all-time favorites. And to hear that he wasn't with us and to know that we wouldn't hear any more new music from him really hurt. It hit me hard. And it took me a while to get over the fact that he wasn't with us. And then Hybrid Theory Anniversary came out. And it was great to hear his voice again. Great to hear the new live versions of songs I had never heard before. Granted, since then, I had been listening to studio versions of Linkin Park, so I've kept his memory alive and, all that. But it was good to hear the same songs in new live versions that I had never seen, that I knew were out there. And then Medora 20 years came out. Again, same songs I had been listening to, newer ways of listening to them, new live versions, plus a couple new LPU Linkin Park Underground stuff that I had heard, hadn't really heard. So same thing with Hybrid Theory. Heard some unreleased stuff that I had never heard before. But this greatest hits is coming out in April, and that's going to be exciting. That's exciting because it's a brand new song from Linkin Park called Friendly Fire. And it was just good to hear his voice, good to hear it on a new song. And it just makes you realize how much you really miss him and how you really want to hear some new stuff from him. But in the end, you always know. You see what I did there? In the end, Linkin Park. So in the end, you know that as a Linkin Park fan, his memory is always going to be alive because you can hear him on the radio. You can hear him on Spotify. You can hear him on Pandora, iHeartRadio, and the CDs that you buy from him, and the albums, the vinyls you get from him. So this week, what we're listening to is Linkin Park, and I want to hear y'all. I want y'all to listen to Friendly Fire this week. And I want you guys to let me know in the comments what you guys think. I think it is great to hear his voice again. It's more of a poppy song, like One More Light was. And One More Light was a really good album, I thought. It really just encompassed what Linkin Park was. Now, granted, the first 2 albums were, angry, hard rock. And that's, as in my opinion, Hybrid Theory and Medora go down as 2 of the greatest albums of all time in my generation. But as you get older, you grow up, and you change. The anger's not there anymore. And if it is there, you've done things like Linkin Park. You've worked it all out. because you've yelled night after night after night on tour, and you've written it down, and they say getting it out is the best medicine. So Chester got out all his anger, and this One More Light was a road, a curve in the road for their music. And people just trashed it when it came out. It was, it wasn't Linkin Park. It wasn't good. It's too poppy. What happened to him? Well, then Chester loses his life, and all of a sudden, it's the greatest album that Linkin Park has ever put out. I always liked One More Light. Granted, yes, it was a diversion. That was the word I was looking for earlier. A diversion from their earlier stuff. But like I said, you grow up, the anger is gone. And, you want to learn, you want to try new things. Well, this was their way of trying something new. And Friendly Fire continues that. But it was good to hear his voice. It was good to hear the sound again. And it's going to be on their new Greatest Hits album out in April, which I think is going to be a great compilation. So let me know what you guys think of the song. Let me know what you guys are listening to this week in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of Survivor, Deal or No Deal, Island, and the new Voice season. I'm going to try to keep an eye on all of them. And you Amazing Race fans, let me know what you guys think of Amazing Race. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep tabs on all of it this year and give updates every week to see how it is. Now, I apologize up front if I don't keep up with it, but I know if something big happens, I'll let you guys know in those shows. But like I say, I'm going to try to keep up, and I hope you guys have a good week. And just know that, as a motivational for the week, don't change who you are for anybody, because you were made the way God wanted you to be made. And why do you want to change the way God made you? You are who you are for a reason. Don't let somebody else change you. You have your own opinions, you have your own thoughts, you have your own views on everything. So don't change who you are. You're just who you need to be. That's about all for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If y'all have any stories you'd like me to cover, just drop it in the comments. Hit me up on text or messenger and let me know what you guys think. If there's a story you guys want me to cover, I'd love to know what you guys think of the episodes so far. I've done 8 of them. And if you've been through, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd love for new members to like, subscribe, and comment. So I hope you guys have a good week, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, y'all.